Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Lynn Wilson and welcome back to my home. Welcome back to my channel. So tonight, so many people are talking about so many things right now, like the buzz on YouTube, the buzz on Facebook, all the rest. Inflation, what are people doing? And it comes down to this. It is something that I would say my grandmother taught me, and it's just built in the women in my mother's side of the family. You're either a doer or you're a complainer. That's what it comes down to. And when things get tough, the tough get going, and you have to make some choices right now. You have to make some decisions, and you have to make some choices for your family, for yourself. You need to set up some boundaries and put in things into place to help you get through inflation. Now, I've grown, I'm old enough to have grown up in many different scenarios and situations of the financial problems in the world and things like that. The one thing I said on a couple of my videos is that when we've hit certain points in the economy where things have crashed and whatnot, I really didn't feel the difference, because when you're broke, you can't get any broker, so to speak. It's that type of a feeling. Or if you live simple, you're not, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really have that many changes that you need to make. I see the people that are struggling the most are those that are not prepared and those that refuse to make any changes. So I just wrote down a list of things that just rattled off in my head on how to beat inflation. I don't know necessarily how to beat it. I know that would be the buzz way to say it. It would be more of how to get through the inflation. We don't know how long this is going to last. Nobody can predict this. You have all the economists and all the rest out there saying, well, if we did this and we did that and so on and so forth. Everybody has an agenda, and that agenda is their own. Everybody wants to sell their agenda, and the whole point of who they are and why they're on the media is to, get better ratings and all the rest. So can you believe everything you hear? No. And probably you're going to say, well, why should I believe you? Well, you don't have to believe me. You can, not believe me. None of these things are rocket science that I'm going to tell you. Most of these things are just plain old common sense, which is, I think, the key to getting through inflation and beating inflation and getting through anything in life that is an obstacle. We don't know how long it will last, and we can sit and complain, or we can get up and we can do. What can we do about it, okay? If you want to make some changes in your life and you want to make a better life for you and your family, in spite of all this stuff, then these are some of the things that you can do. I'm a firm believer in, what you have to do for you. You're not going to get people in higher office making the way for you to be a perfect, wonderful place. These people are in office, and, it is what it is. I can't change certain things, but what I can change is how I do things in my home to make it a better place. So these are things that I do on the regular to keep myself kind of on a budget, keep myself living thrifty and frugal, but still allowing myself to enjoy life and have some fun. Even through all of this craziness, I want to be able to look back over, let's say it lasts 2 years, let's say it lasts 5 years. I don't want to waste those 5 years of complaining. I want to look forward and look forward to and look past on these 5 years or 3 years or 1 year, whatever, that I actually did something and I feel good about myself, my family feels good, and my family's happy. These are some things that we do. Thrift shopping for clothes, appliances, shoes, home decor, and all the rest. And I know I have friends that turn their nose up at thrift shopping. Listen, why? Why are you turning your nose up? I bought a really nice jacket the other day that's about a $50 jacket. Tags were still in it, brand new. Whoever bought it never wore it. And I got it for $3. You know what? You could pay the $50. No problem. I'll pay the $3. Now, do you have to get everything at the discount grocery stores and everything at the thrift stores and everything at all these places? No. But start there first and then go to the retail stores or online or whatever for those things that you can't get. Start using less meat in your food. If you're making a spaghetti sauce, you don't need a heavy meat spaghetti sauce. You can just do tomato sauce one time. If you want to do meat, you can, I would, instead of a pound of meat, maybe do a third of a pound. And if you want to bulk it up, you can add lentils to that. Think of ways to be more creative on how you can do less meat. Well, I'll give you for instance, we went, I don't know if the video has been up or it will be up, but we did there's a community outreach in our area, and we haven't been to it in about a year and a half, and we went, and they gave us 2 packages of chicken quarters. Well, when I opened it, it was 2 chicken legs in each package. And, you know, most people would say, well, how's that going to feed a family? That's 2 people. No, what I did is I cooked them down overnight in the crock pot, and then I just shredded that chicken and pulled it right off the bone and came up with a big bowl of chicken. Then I made a nice gravy, and I put it on bread and made an open-faced chicken sandwich with mashed potatoes, corn, and green beans. And I'm not sure if you'll see that video, but then on top of that, I had enough left over there that 2 of the 3 of us had seconds, and then I still had leftover chicken that I'm going to take that chicken and gravy and turn it into soup. So it's not going to be a ton of chicken, but it'll be a decent amount of chicken, and I'm going to add some fresh veggies, and I'll make a big pot of soup. Not only will it feed us for probably dinner and lunch the next day, I'll have soup to freeze or soup to share with a neighbor or a friend. These are types of things that, you know, you can be creative. Start using canned meat. If you can't get a roast beef cheap enough at your store, you can get a can of roast beef for $3 and make a meal out of it. And again, people turn their nose up, but listen, you're in hard times. You do the best you can with what you have. These things will not be a forever. They are for now. Maybe use canned veggies half the week, and the other half of the week use fresh veggies. If fresh veggies are expensive in your area, right now 'tis the season in my area to get fresh produce and delicious fresh produce. But when it's not, are canned vegetables the most perfect? No. But use canned or frozen vegetables as a replacement to fresh. Just supplement. You know, maybe do half of this and half of that. You're going to have to learn to be a little bit more flexible. Do fillers at dinner. Don't do your meat as your main dish. Do it as a side dish. And do some other things. Put it over pasta. Put it over bread. Add some extra veggies. Do some couscous. Do something creative. Maybe put some grits in it, or, you know, some corn muffins or something like that, that you can kind of bulk up the meal and make it more filling. Now, do you do that every night of the week? No, you can do that 1 or 2 nights of the week to get the cost down. Know your prices. Don't go to a discount store and say, oh, that's a great buy because it's at a discount store. Make sure you know your prices, because just because they say it's discounted, it might not be. Get to know your grocery store. Even if you just go in for a gallon of milk, look around and get an idea of prices. Keep a little notebook with you. Jot them down. Get familiar with 3 or 4 of your stores in your area, Walmart to a grocery store to Dollar General to some other big box store maybe. Just get an idea of prices. What are they charging for a gallon of milk? Where is my best deal? So when you go to another place, you can say, that is a great deal, or that deal is pathetic. I'm going to pass on that. Try new things to cook. You know, maybe recipes you never would have thought of before. Something I felt like today, we had some soup and I felt like fry bread. And maybe many of you, I did a video probably over a year ago on that. We love fry bread. It's cheap. It is dirt cheap. It's a great filler. It's a great thing to have alongside soup because it bulks up the meal. It's tasty. Maybe try creating some new recipes of things that you went, oh, you know what? If I tried this and I added that, I could really cut the cost down. There might be ideas there. Try new things for vacation. Who said you have to go on a cruise? Who said you have to fly to, you know, in our area, everybody flies to Florida. I'm not a fan of Florida. Hello to all my friends in Florida. I'm not a fan of Florida. It wouldn't be a place I would choose to spend my vacation. But wherever you have been going on the regular, maybe decide to go some other place that's a little bit more frugal, a little less money. Again, this is not like I will never be able to do these things again. Now, get that out of your head. This is temporary. Know that there's hope, there is a future, and you're building hope for the future in terms of cutting back now and being more creative in everything that you're doing so that you will have a future. Plant a garden. This year, I've been trying to plant a garden for 5 years and I've neglected it. It's just never worked. This year we planted a garden. Is it the best? No. Would it compare to anybody? Nah. I got a little garden. I got a, container garden, and it's small, but it's making food. It's making produce. It's making things that I can eat. What did it cost me? A packet of seeds, and now I'm growing my own food. Maybe just start with 1 or 2 plants and learn how to do that. But that is some ways of saving money and doing things to be creative for yourself. I have a food swap. I've talked about this several times. I even did a video on it. We did some food swapping this week. I'll be doing some more next week. Maybe start a food swap. If you don't know what that is, go and catch up on my video. Use this time to regain your home. This is one of the things that we did during COVID, when that whole first year, 2020, everything was like shut down and you felt destitute. We decided we were going to go room by room and clean out and declutter and reorganize. And believe it or not, even with that, we got so busy with other projects, we never finished that. So that's what we are still continuing to do. So right now, gas is high and it's expensive to go places. Just take back the home and say, you know what? This is the home I live in. This is where my family lives. This is where I live. I want to take it back and really create a haven for myself. And whatever that means, maybe it means redecorating, rearranging the furniture, painting a wall. All those things that if I could only just have time, I'd want to paint those walls. Well, maybe, paint is not too expensive. Maybe paint the walls or change the curtains. Go hit the thrift shop for some home decor. Change 5 pieces in your living room and just make it look fresh and special. What other things can we do? Keep up with your car maintenance. I take my car in on the regular for the oil change, and then if I have any qualms about anything, I tell them to do a service check for $9.95. They do a service check, and then I make sure that my car is up to date. My car is an old car. The mileage is low. I don't want to take on a car payment. Sometimes you have to get repairs. Sometimes it means you have to get brakes and you're going to have to lay out that money. That's still cheaper for me than taking on a regular car payment every month. So keep up with the general maintenance so that your car will just keep going for you. Decorate from within. I mentioned about going to a thrift store. Maybe sometimes, you can interchange your living room for your dining room and just change it up. There's same size rooms, and we've done that. We've done our dining room and our living room and our living room and our dining room just to change things up. Maybe change the pictures from room to room, or 1 or 2 chairs from room to room. There are things in your home that you can, pull from other rooms and just redecorate within the home. Sometimes when you do that, as you start to do that, you realize, I don't like those pictures anymore over there on the wall. And that's one way of also decluttering. When holidays are going to be coming up and everybody is going to be stressing out, start looking now. Garage sales. In my area, the season is garage sales and yard sales. So check that out. People are cleaning out their basements. They're cleaning out their garages, especially early fall. For us, you see everybody try to clean out after the summer. People want to get rid of great things for Christmas, holiday, the fall, Halloween, all the rest. People sell stuff cheap, lights and Christmas trees and ornaments and all the rest. If you're in need of something, consider checking out a yard sale. You might be able to buy everything they have and just offer them $5 and they'll take it to get rid of it. Maybe do some Christmas shopping from your home. What do I mean by that? Well, maybe you have some things at home. Have you ever bought something, a pretty something, or, maybe a pillow for your couch, and you realize it just wasn't quite the right color, but that would really match somebody else's home and the tags are still on it. Use it as a gift. Maybe start doing some homemade things. Oh, I'm not creative. I don't know how to do things. Not everybody has to draw or sketch or create in that manner. There's ways of cooking and baking, making jarred gifts, mixing. You want to do homemade cocoa or homemade chai tea. It's a matter of mixing powders. It's measuring into a jar, measuring powders. Save your spaghetti sauce jars and your mayonnaise, anything that's glass, not plastic, but anything that's glass, because then you can decoupage the top of the lid, and you can use those jars. You don't even have to pay for the jar. And you can just do layers of things like that, you know, really anybody can do. You can measure out powders, but there's all kinds of things you can do homemade. Start thinking now. I know you're thinking, oh, it's crazy. It's, you know, we're in July, we're only into August, and what are you talking about? Christmas. Christmas is about 22 weeks away. It goes quick. And depending on the size of your family and the needs that you have in terms of gifts, you want to start now so that you have the time, you're not stressing and all the rest that goes with it. Plan simple get-togethers with your family and your friends. You know, you don't need to do a roast dinner. When I grew up, it was the Sunday roast. You know, you had people over on Sunday. Do just tacos, do hot dogs, do macaroni and cheese and some salad, and call it a day. You don't have to do anything elaborate. One thing I've learned is when you invite people in your home, and we always say, and they break bread, you know, that phrase, they break bread with you. When they come in your home and they dine with you, it builds a unique relationship. All of a sudden, the walls go down. You get to know somebody, they get to know you. And it doesn't matter that you're serving macaroni and cheese. You know what? If you don't have nice dishes, like, you know, something you'd really want to put out for them, go to the Dollar Tree and just get some pretty seasonal dishes of whatever is out for the season, and some pretty napkins, and call it a day. Put a nice centerpiece on the table. Don't feel like you have to always do expensive meals. The same for you and your family. You know, make some of the meals you have during the week really special. Put a candle on the table. Put some fun music on. Maybe do a picnic in the living room and put a blanket down and get some popcorn and snacks out, and do hot dogs and sit on the rug and watch a movie, and make it fun and make it a moment. It doesn't have to be over expensive food. You can do hot dogs and potato chips and maybe do root beer floats with that and make it fun. And do the same thing for your guests. Invite your guests over. Maybe just do dessert and coffee. It doesn't always have to be a meal. People are starving for a connection. People are starving for fellowship. People are starving for friendship. I know I am. We are feeling that loss of disconnect from some of our friends and family. We are starting to get back into doing things like this, but all on a simple level. Don't be spending money that you don't have, that you need to put toward other things. Be frugal. Live life simple, but live life. How are you going to beat inflation? How are you going to get through inflation? By having a good attitude, by just pulling up your bootstraps and saying, you know what, I got to do it. I got to do it. Why are you going to sit there and be miserable and complaining? You know what? There's enough miserable people out there, and there's enough people complaining, and there's enough doom and gloom out there that could just last everyone's lifetime. Be the person that's different. Be the person on your blog that everybody's wondering why. How can you have people over when we can't afford to do anything? Well, we go cheap. We go tacos. We go hot dogs. We go macaroni and cheese. You can do macaroni and cheese really cheap. And be the person that's the different person on your block and in your neighborhood that brings the sunshine, that says, I'm going to live life no matter what. You know, even when we went through the pandemic, yes, I know it's still happening around us, but the worst of the pandemic initially that we went through, I said the same thing then. You will look back at 2020 and 2021, and you will either regret that you did not live life, or you will say, I got through it. Yeah, some tough times. Yeah, we had some weird stuff going on and all the rest. But in the end, I got through it. I came out with a smile. We still did stuff as a family. We still did vacation days. Maybe it's a day trip versus a week-long trip, but we did things. Be that person that says, I am determined to be a doer and not a complainer, and be somebody that can just make a difference in another person's life. Be the example of how we can get through this. I would love to hear comments from you on how you're getting through it. You know, what are some tips that you might have? Be the person that's like an encouragement to those that are around you. I would love your encouraging words back to me as well. Thanks so much for coming over tonight. We'll catch you all on the next video.